All right. Last content objective in this unit. Yahoo! Yay! What? I think this unit's kind of over, so I'm really excited to be done. All right, I can find the slope of a line using the slope formula. This is going to be important for Unit 4. Don't understand this Unit 4 is going to be a little bit harder. Okay? We'll go relatively slow today. Ask question. Each table represents a linear relationship. Find the slope of each line. What does a linear relationship mean? Remember what I told you your line would always look like on a graph? Where a triangle. No. It would be a straight line. If it's a linear line, it's a straight line. No, well. You will go into algebra and you will learn about quadratic lines and exponential lines. Those are different, so those will not be a straight line. So you need to know that linear means it's a straight line. It's going up at a constant rate. Okay? So this is a linear table. What is the change in y? I was at 0. I'm at 1 now. Not a trick question. How do I get from 0 to 1? I add 1. All right, how do I get from 4 to 7? All right, and my last thing down at the bottom, it says calculate the slope. The change in y, so what was the change in y? How much does that equal? Change in y. Oh. And what was the change in x? So this would simplify down to either one of those answers is acceptable. Right? This is just kind of introducing what we're going to do. Okay, this is an introduction to what we're going to do. Okay, Gordon, we're going to go to the top of the next page. Each table represents a linear relationship. So I already know this is linear. Find the slope of each line. What this is telling you is, you notice the last time I started with like these two, right? I don't always have to do that. I could do these two, these two, these two, these two. Any one. But I have to do the corresponding ones on the other side. So it's not like I can pick 7 and 9 and then pick 11 and 27. If I do 7 and 9, I have to do 27 and 35. Okay? I try to stay out of the negatives. That's why I wouldn't pick the first two. I feel like I make more mistakes in the negatives. I told you guys this. So when I have the option, I stay out of it. So what is the difference, the change in 7 to 9? Positive 2. What is the change from 27 to 35? It's 8. So the y goes on top. 8 over 2. Would this be an acceptable answer on a test? Yes. No. This is not simplified. I'm going to simplify this down to what? 4, just 4. If you were to put 4 over 1, that would be acceptable. Because you are simplified, you're down to the simplest form. All right, your guys' turn. This is, I don't like this. I didn't put X and Y at the top here. Looking at that first one, which two would I pick to do? 0 and 1. Why? They're positive. There's no negatives. I want you to find the slope on both A and B. I do not want a decimal. I want you to leave in an improper fraction. Okay. Does anyone need more time? Okay. So I agree, like how we said, I would start here. How did I get from 0 to 1? How did I get from 2 to -1? Now, some people in other classes have struggled with this. If you need to write out, so I'm starting at 2, and I want to get to -1. I moved 1, 2, 3 spots down. If you need to write it out like that just to understand it, please do so. Okay? B, I picked 3 and 5. How did I get from 3 to 5? How did I get from 2 to 5? So I have 3 over 2. Leave it is an improper fraction. This is what you're going to need for next unit, is an improper fraction. A decimal is not going to help. Okay, that was the easier part. All right, I have to show you the slope formula. This is the slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Sounds confusing, but it's not. It's really already what you were doing. Are you taking the x's and figuring out the difference? In your tables, are you taking the x and figuring out the difference? Okay. I said, how did I get from 0 to 1? Well, the difference is 1. I asked, how did I get from 2 to 5? Well, the difference is 3. So you're really already finding that. I find it easier to do it in a table than I do writing it like that. But I showed it to you. All right, so here is our problem. Okay? Would you agree with me? Tell me if I'm wrong. This is an x, this is a y, this is an x, this is y. Do you agree? Okay. So what we know with coordinates, can I put any coordinate in a table? Is that true? Can I turn coordinates into a table? Yes. So I can take my coordinates, 3 and 2, 8 and 5, and put them in a table. Now, if I'm asking to find slope, can I find it the exact same way we've already been doing? Yes. So what is my change in x? How do I get from 3 to 8? How do I get from 2 to 5? So what goes on top? 3 over. So I really didn't add anything new. It's just not in a table. You have to put it in the table. Wow. Okay, wait. Should have been writing it down when I was going over it. All right, B. I'm going to set it up in the table with you. I have x, y, 1, -1, 3, -5. All right, I set it up in the table. I want you guys to find the slope. Yeah. Yes, it can be a whole number. Okay. How did I get from 1 to 3? How did I get from -1 to -5? -4. I have -4 over 2. What does that simplify down to? -2. I'm not setting up the table at all on this one for you. Give it a try. No, think about that. All right. Okay, here we go. This one you should have noticed something. I have 6, -2, 6, 4. What's the difference here? How did I get from 6 to 6?
0.
How did I get from -2 to 4? So I have 6 over 0. What's that mean?
Keep it as
I have 6 things. Can I split them into 0 groups?
No.
That doesn't work. So what do we call that? Undefined. This is undefined. What happens if it were switched and the 0 was on the top and the 6 was on the bottom?
It would just be 0.
It'd just be 0. All right. Your turn, completely on your own. A and B. A and B.
Yeah. Wait, what? Did you see that?
A.
Oh. Oh no, yeah. It's gonna simplify. Not as a decimal.
I don't want a decimal. Nope. Simplify.
What do you mean?
What?
Yes.
Simplify that. Yeah, bro, like level 100. And what you think? I can't make the answer. Like, comma. Comma.
Okay. Here we go. All right, let's fill these in. This is my X, my Y. X, Y. Here's a common mistake I see a lot. What did I do wrong? Okay, so I took my -2 and 1 and put them both in the X's. I put 6 and -5 both in the Y's. That's not right. So my 1 needs to go here, my 6, and my -5. How did I get from 2 to -6? Or, sorry, -2 to 6? +8. If we don't know that, is it okay to write this out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How did I get from 1 to -5? -6. I have -6 over 8. This would not get you a 4. Well, I need to simplify and I don't want a decimal. So what I mean by that is I'm going to divide by 2. They're both even numbers. -6 divided by 2 gives me -3. 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. That will get you a 4 answer. If you don't simplify, you're down to probably a 3. All right. Now, here we go. Next one. You should have noticed something on this one. I have 5, 3, -2, 3. How'd you get from 5 to -2? -7. How'd you get from 3 to 3? So I have 0 over 7. What does that equal? 0 this time. Why is it 0, not undefined? Perfect. All right. How are we feeling?